Trial Tuesday once again. We've got info on the bill that Governor Nikki Haley will sign tomorrow that mandates equal treatment for motorcyclists here in South Carolina. Attorney David Aylor, the original 12 o'clock boy himself, also known on the streets as Dooley David, joins us with some info on that bill. So, Counselor, tell me all about this bill and what we're trying to do with motorcyclists here in the state.
Well, it's a great victory for the motorcycles that live in the state, and then I think what you'll ultimately see is a lot more motorcycles attracted to the state, because what essentially Governor Haley is going to sign into place is equal treatment for motorcycle riders, basically meaning any type of government parking garage area, public use area will have to be fitted and used for motorcycle riders as well, just not cars.
So you see more of those kind of placards that say motorcycle parking only, those smaller spaces, things like that?
Right. Just in general, you have some municipalities that discourage motorcycles and would purposely not allow any parking or anything related to motorcycles in those areas. And now this bill puts in place that it's mandated if it's public parking. Now, clearly a lot of parking garages and things are private. That's different. But in regards to any public parking and other benefits that could come from it, the cities, the counties, that sort of thing.
So under the bill, would they be reserved spaces?
There would be, yes, specific areas for them. And it's important just in general, particularly from bikers that here live in the community. Obviously, they pay taxes as well. And then also attracting bikers from outside the state. We have a no helmet law here in South Carolina. So a lot of riders like to enjoy that. And you do have bikers coming in from other states. But the fact that they can't find parking and different things like that is an issue that's come up over time. ABATE, a motorcycle group that really sort of the lobbyists behind all this, helped put this together, and they pushed it through.
I was going to say, certainly a major lobbying group, of course, are motorcyclists here in the state. So what other kind of things did they try and fight for? And do you think that helmet rule will ever be reversed?
I don't personally see the helmet rule being reversed. We have a little bit of a libertarian lean here in the state of South Carolina, so I wouldn't see where that would. They've looked at it in years past, and it didn't go very far within the House or the Senate. But you know, I think really what they look at, and you're starting to see a little bit more of it, is things just related to safe driving. They're particularly big proponents of the text message law and things like that, because obviously a person on a motorcycle who gets involved in an accident has a lot greater risk as opposed to a car, generally speaking. So they're really just concerned in general about more safety laws, more stringent safety laws on the roads related to not just motorcycles but cars as well.
It seems like, especially when the weather starts warming up, we see a lot more of those overhead highway signs that say "Look out, motorcycles are everywhere." Is that part of this as well? And do you think that you know, those safety tips and kind of messages are getting out there and making bicyclists and motorcyclists more safe?
I think it is. I think you're starting to see not just even motorcycles also, but like you said, cyclists and things like that. People just getting friendly reminders of it, particularly if you're driving somewhere in a very busy traffic area. Oftentimes, in cases I've been involved in, the person who's found at fault for it just simply did not hear the motorcycle, and then when they didn't hear it, they of course didn't look and see it, maybe because they weren't paying attention, or maybe they're just looking a different way. So you really got to pay attention to where you are in your surroundings, particularly in your areas with a lot of vehicles and motorcycles, because you know, if you cut in front of someone on a motorcycle, that's a lot different than cutting someone in a car.
Of course, most motorcyclists are law-abiding citizens. They obey the rules of the road, and they kind of look out for cars, actually. Of course, there are those, you know, sort of other group that are weaving in between lanes and things like that. So this law is not going to cover them. I mean, they're not going to be able to go in between traffic and in lanes and go down when everyone else is stopped. And
right,
go down
and things you've seen like lately about with people with the GoPro cameras that film themselves and all that. That, of course, kind of reckless driving is putting everybody at risk. It's putting themselves as well as the other drivers. And so, no, this is going to be protecting those law-abiding motorcycle riders, which is obviously a majority of who you have here in the state.
As they say, look twice, and motorcycles are everywhere. Attorney David Aylor, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Lowcountry Live after the break.